Manti, dude with the fake girlfriend. I brought his name up around friends that had no idea I was about to do this video. That's the first thing they said, first thing out of their mouth. Here's my question. Is it fair that Manti is only remembered for that one thing? I mean, he accomplished so much in his life up to that point, and in my opinion deserves a ton of credit for not completely falling off a cliff afterwards. But honestly, I'm gonna leave that for you to decide after the video. If you haven't enjoyed this video or learned something new, man, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We recently hit 100,000 subscribers. Thank you guys once again for that. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, and follow me on the social media platforms at FlemLo Raps. Now it's time to look at the life of Manti as a whole, but of course including that crazy catfish situation. Let's go. Manti grew up in Honolulu and was an early standout on the football field. He actually made second team All-State as a high school sophomore. That's pretty good, but the next year, he took it to another level. Instead of being one of the players on the All-State second team, he became the player, the defensive player of the year. He put up a total of 90 tackles and also played running back, scoring 10 touchdowns on offense. That was his junior year. Moving on to his senior season, he led his team to their first ever state championship. So you know this man is a legend where he's from. That senior year, he took it to yet another level, a higher plane. 129 tackles, 11 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles. He won Gatorade Player of the Year, period. Till this very day, he is one of the most highly recruited players to ever come out of Hawaii. Manti was a 5-star recruit. He was actually the second ranked linebacker behind Vontaze Burfict, the head case linebacker for my squad, Cincinnati Bengals. Sorry, Vontaze, but I feel away, bro. Anyway, Manti decided to attend Notre Dame from 2009 to 2012. As a freshman, he didn't start every game, but he played every game. He made an immediate impact, racking up 63 tackles, which is the third most in the history of Notre Dame for a freshman. He also had 5 tackles for loss and 1 sack, which was enough to get him on the freshman All-American team. The following year, Notre Dame got a new defensive coordinator, Bob Diaco. He switched the defense from a 3-4 and moved Manti to outside linebacker. This resulted in the highest tackle total of Manti's career. He put up 133 tackles as a sophomore. He even had a ridiculous 21 tackle game versus the Andrew Luck-led Stanford Cardinals. 21 tackles. That's NCAA 14 numbers, bro. This helped Notre Dame go from a 6-6 season in 2009 to a respectable 8-5 season in 2010. Manti's junior year was real similar to his sophomore year. Over 100 tackles again. Notre Dame went 8-5 again. But he did have his career high in sacks with 5, and he made the academic All-American team that year as well. So he's doing a little bit of schoolwork, you know what I mean? I don't think they play about that stuff in Notre Dame though. Now his senior year would be the most noteworthy for just a plethora of reasons. You know, there's a lot of reasons when I pull out plethora. First and foremost, Notre Dame went 12-0 in the regular season and made it to the national championship. Let's just get that out the way. 6-6, 8-5, 8-5, 12-0 national championship. Bam. Manti's defense was the second ranked scoring defense in the nation. Manti once again had over 100 tackles, which was to be expected at this point. But what people did not expect was Manti's 7 interceptions, which led all linebackers in the country. Matter of fact, only one player at any position had more interceptions than Manti did that year. That was Fresno State safety Philip Thomas, who had 8. And that's all great. Amazing. Perfect bookend to a college career. Manti in high school had gotten a team who never won a championship into the championship and won it, and now he had Notre Dame, a story team who had been struggling, back to the national championship. Manti was in the Heisman race. Things was looking good. It was also during his senior year that Manti's girlfriend situation started to become a big deal. Now, this was not the first time he had spoke about his girlfriend, but just trust me, this is the year it all became relevant. Why? Multiple reasons. At first, it was due to great tragedy. Now, Manti told the media that his grandmother had passed away on September 11, 2012. which is tragic, very, very sad. But not only did his grandma pass, his girlfriend had also passed on that same day. Now, Manti's girlfriend was a Stanford University student, Lene Kekua. Now, Lene had been battling leukemia, and so the tragic story of losing her and his grandma right there at the same time just took the media by storm. But as we all know, turns out Manti got completely catfished. Apparently, some dude named Renaya Tua Asuspo, he made the whole thing up. Here's how it went down. 2008, a person claiming to be Lene Kekua started hitting people up on Facebook trying to get attention. Midway through 2008, one of the people who responded was a woman named Tessie. She was a Polynesian beauty queen. She continued to exchange Facebook messages with the person pretending to be Kekua, but Tessie stopped talking to her after she began to feel like Kekua was embellishing her story. Kekua had said that she was a Stanford volleyball player and was dating then USC quarterback Mark Sanchez. Probably hit up Mark, but he had tons of women at USC and he didn't go for it. In 2009, in steps Manti Te'o. It's his freshman year. Manti was green. He was new, fresh, young, dumb, gullible. And that's when old boy decided to strike. He hit Manti on Facebook, pretending to be old girl. Manti responds and his game was impeccable. He said, and I quote, "I'm Manti." At this point, they would begin an on-again, off-again relationship that would resume later with text and phone calls. By 2010, Manti is completely enamored with the conversations him and old boy who was pretending to be old girl were having. Of course, Manti still thinks it's a girl. He never met the person. Dude must have had a pretty feminine voice because apparently they were talking on the phone at this point. But Manti is completely convinced of old girl's authenticity. 2011, old boy disguised as old girl hits up Manti and says she's having hard times with her boyfriend. At that point, Manti's relationship with old boy disguised as old girl intensifies. March 2012, Facebook post reveals that old girl was in a car accident. Shortly after, Manti is planning to fly out to finally meet her. But a few days before he goes, Manti gets a call from old girl's brother saying she got hit by a drunk driver and was now in the hospital. Manti ends up not being able to make the trip. June 2012, old boy disguised as old girl says he now has leukemia. I guess he realized he couldn't keep this charade up forever and decided to kill the character off before it was too late. The very next month, July 2012, Manti again plans to come and see old girl, but this time he has to cancel because of a family reunion. Close call, old boy disguised as old girl gets lucky. September 2012, Manti's real life grandmother passes. Old boy, who usually disguises himself as old girl, calls Manti as himself. Well, sorta. He's pretending to be old girl's brother. Now, Manti is dealing with the passing of his grandma, bro. So the man's clearly already suffering. He's already hurt. But he calls him and says, "Manti, she's gone." Basically saying that the leukemia had finally overpowered old girl, who had put up a valiant make-believe fight. The next day, Manti tweets, "I may not hear your voice, but I feel your presence." Now, wow, in hindsight, this is kind of funny. This is really messed up when you really think about it, because to him, this is a real person and his grandmother just passed. So he's dealing with both of these at the same time, bro. That is insane. Like, that would destroy so many people. Now, did Manti have to be pretty gullible? Yeah, but the fact that he believed it means he still had to deal with the real emotions. So that's messed up, man. September 15th, 2012. Right after the passing of his grandma and his make-believe girlfriend, Manti goes out, plays against Michigan State, has an amazing game. 12 tackles, Notre Dame takes the win. After the game, Manti sends love to his now late grandmother and his late girlfriend. The fact that they both passed on the same day and this man had to go out and played well and won, this thing became national headlines. It was easily the biggest story in college football at that time. September 22nd, 2012. Old boy disguised as old girl literally thought of everything, because before old girl passed, she made Manti promise that he would play in every game no matter what. Manti promises, and then they scheduled the fake funeral on the same day as the Michigan game. Therefore, Manti cannot attend. He's got to play in the game because he promised. November 2012, Manti starts dating an actual girl. Then he gets messages from his fake girlfriend's family saying that the real girl is actually a gold digger. Damn, that's cold, man. December 2012, J.R. Villesota tweets Manti warning him that the entire Kekua situation is a hoax and that she does not exist. JR said he went with his cousin to meet Kekua at various places, but instead of Kekua, they would always meet Old Boy. Now, a couple days later, Manti gets a call from Old Boy disguised as Old Girl, who's supposed to be dead, saying that, well, she's not actually dead. And then finally, Manti figures it out. Christmas Eve 2012, Manti tells his mom he got hoaxed. He then tells his coach and a few other people. The school then launches an investigation that clears Manti of any wrongdoing, saying that he really did genuinely get fooled. Finally, January 16, 2013, Old Boy calls Manti on the phone and apologizes for the prank, finally admitting, from himself that yes, the whole thing was an elaborate hoax. Media storm ensues, and here we are. The worst part is that apparently catfishing is not illegal because dude didn't get no jail time, man. And the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I guess it makes sense that it's not illegal, but it just seemed like if you put somebody through all of that, it should be illegal. I mean, damn. He probably didn't have a criminal case. He would have had a civil case, but he probably just wanted to move on and separate himself from this as much as he could. Meanwhile, Old Boy who had put on the hoax was out there doing interviews with ABC. It ain't safe out here, man. It's crazy. Like, that dude was clearly insane. Clearly. At the end of the day, Manti Te'o is one of the most decorated college football players ever. He won the 2012 Defensive Impact Player of the Year, the Maxwell, the Chuck Benderick, the Bronco Nagurski, the Butkus Award, the Lombardi Award, the Walter Camp Award. In addition to all of that, he was named the National Scholar Athlete by the National Football Foundation. And as a linebacker, he finished second in the Heisman voting against Texas A&M quarterback Johnny Manziel. He got Notre Dame back to the national championship, and we know how deep the love for Notre Dame runs with a lot of college football fans, especially the older cats. They're very romantic about Notre Dame, and it's sports, so everything's fair game. You're allowed to be romantic about your team. That's kind of what makes sports great, even if you might seem delusional to everyone else.
I look for Notre Dame to win this game by a score of 24-10, and let me tell you why.
Notre Dame got thrashed in that game, 42-14. Manti ends up falling to the second round of the draft after being projected as a first rounder had he come out his junior year. I've said it 100 times, I won't even say it again. Y'all already know what I'm gonna say. There is no upside, bro. Now, this had a lot to do with his abysmal combine performance where he ran a 4.8 40, but let's keep it a buck. It had a ton to do with the entire catfish situation. Like, people's opinion of Manti and who he was had dropped dramatically. But where this would have completely ruined so many people, Manti, who's far from a superstar in the league, has actually had an extremely solid career to this point. Now, his best year was in 2015 when he racked up 83 tackles for the team that drafted him, the San Diego Chargers. That same season, he had a pick and a forced fumble. Now, last year he went down with an Achilles injury, but he was able to bounce back this season, finding a home with the New Orleans Saints, signing a 2-year deal, and they love him out there. They love his work ethic, the passion that he brings to the game, and he's having yet another very solid season. This dude has a chance to play in the NFL for a long time, but sadly, at the end of the day, many people will still only remember him as the dude with the fake girlfriend.